All right. Welcome one, welcome all to the Scorched Earth Political Podcast. I'm your host tonight, John, or today, whenever you may be listening to this quality broadcast. If you could real quick, please hit that like and subscribe button. It means a lot to us. And also hit that notification so you can be aware of when new content rolls around in shorts or whatever it is. And real quickly, this is the 100th podcast. And I want to express my deep, heartfelt thanks to my super producer, Stacy. Without her, this would never have existed. She worked through so many technical aspects of it, and she always came up with solutions. She always pushed me a little. She was just incredibly supportive every step of the way. She still continues to be. And I adore her. And, you know, whatever we're creating, it is absolutely unequivocally because of her. I'm just a pretty face. You know, you look at me and you go, hey, is that James Bond doing a podcast? No, it's JT. Close, but not quite. So, welcome friend, welcome foe. We welcome sinner and saint here, everybody. But we are definitely on the progressive side. As you can see, we're getting a couple more subscribers, which we always appreciate. Leave your comments there. I especially appreciate the trolls. And let's burn it down a little. You know, today I did meet with producer Stacy, super producer Stacy, SPS we'll call her. And we met at a local fast food establishment. And I had this story a couple weeks ago in a restaurant with my parents about somebody like 5 tables over who was kind enough to take a phone call and to talk, put it on speaker, and be kind enough to talk so loudly that everybody in the restaurant got to enjoy her conversation. We got to hear about Brad having the affair with Sheila and all the other beautiful things. Really titillating as we're trying to eat Italian food. Well, today we were in the restaurant, and it was kind enough. We happened to be close. We were within like 60 feet. And this lady did the same thing. She put the speakerphone on so we could hear them, and we could hear her interacting with that person. And literally, I want to tell you something. If you're one of those people, what is your problem? Like, can't you put in earbuds, or can't you just keep a phone to your face and just have a normal conversation? We don't want to hear what color dress your daughter wore at Easter. I don't care. Christ's sake. I don't care. All right? And if you're one of the subscribers who does this, well, keep subscribing. I still adore you, but quit it. For the love of humanity, honestly, forget texting and driving. People who put their phone on speaker in a public place and then engage in conversation, they should go to San Salvador. Let's bring back Abrego Garcia, and we're going to have a bunch of middle-aged women and men. I see a lot of men doing this too, and let's just put them away. I believe in due process, but that is a crime against humanity. I have nothing to say about that. Burn them all. Let's scorch earth them, man. Let's put them in there, pour some gasoline, pour some napalm on them, and then let them talk on the phone as they die. Sorry, little rough, but this is Scorched Earth. This isn't your mama's podcast, okay? What is that, Martha Stewart? I don't know. I don't know who moms are listening to. But welcome one, welcome all. We take no prisoners. We tell no lies here. And let's get into the news today. There's a saying, F around and find out. That's what all the kids say. Well, I'm actually about 10 years behind what the kids say, so they probably said that about 12 years ago, and I'm still trying to catch up to the hipness of it. I don't really believe in karma, but maybe there is some karma here. We're going to see with the beautiful state of Arkansas. Seems like during the course of March, they had quite a few twisters and tornadoes, and they had their share of devastation. But guess what? Seems like they want some stuff. Hold on a second. Okay, hold on there, Turbo. All right. Let's see.
The state of Arkansas was denied FEMA funding in connection to the severe storms and tornadoes on March 14th. Arkansas's public assistance request is still pending. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders is working with the Arkansas.
Now, this is a very Republican state, okay? These are the people who, when California had a fire, they were like, well, they just didn't do good management. Well, you know what? You should have erected some type of anti-tornado fence. You know, instead of spending all your money on those gaudy cowgirl boots that you wear with the dress, and please, I literally, it is literally one of the most appalling things I've ever seen. And you are now asking for the federal government, and here is what it is. They're asking for the federal government, for FEMA to help them, because they, and look, I'm an advocate for FEMA. But when California had a problem a couple months ago, it was, you know, F them, they're liberal, whatever. They think, people who support the administration think, and it's the same thing with people in the government who support this administration and didn't think they were going to get laid off. They think because of white privilege, because they're citizens, they're going to have all of their needs met. F around and find out. And Sarah Huckabee is finding out that, hey, Donald Trump isn't going to bring FEMA to the rescue.
Division of Emergency Management to appeal the federal government's denial for IA. Arkansas has 30 days to submit the necessary documentation for an appeal.
Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that, everybody. 40 people passed away from the horrible tornadoes and windstorms in Arkansas, Mississippi, and Missouri. President Trump specifically denied them with an executive order. Okay? For public assistance. I wish I could have been a fly on the wall when it came back to her that, oh, sorry, Washington isn't going to give you any money. Right? The denial follows executive orders signed by Trump. He is seeking to shift the burden of disaster response and recovery from the federal government onto states. All right. Looks like we've heard that one before. How you doing? Both Trump and Department of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, amazing she has time to do any of this work in between her cosplay and her cosmetic surgery. Hey, we found that $3,000. Have made it clear they want to eliminate FEMA. You know, I know somebody back east, and last year when North Carolina was hit by that devastating hurricane, they were, oh, they're not doing enough, Biden's not doing, and it was all bullshit. It was just all bullshit, right? It was just people, you know, oh, there's people up on the hill and they're not getting to them. Well, first thing they have to do in a disaster is they have to get the National Guard to seal off the area so they don't get looters and things like that. And then they go in and help. They do it every day. They do it every year. They know what they're doing. Somebody on TikTok doesn't know quite as much as FEMA does. But you better enjoy it, North Carolina. You better enjoy it, South Carolina, because it ain't coming again. When the tide rises and they flood your house or you have a hurricane, hey, F you. Good luck. You're obviously, you know, one of those states. Let's see. Oh, we voted for Trump. He'll help us. Yeah. F around and find out. You're going to find out. The denial of the request, which was dated April 11th, said the Trump administration has determined that the damage from this event was not of such severity and magnitude as to be beyond the capabilities of state-affected local governments and volunteer agencies. Accordingly, we have determined that supplemental federal assistance is not necessary. They are trying to shut down FEMA. And understand this, everybody says government is wasteful, government is abusive, until they need it. You know, everybody has this conservative slant of we're going to cut the government, whatever, but they want the liberal mechanisms of the government to help them. You know, I got conservative friends. They've got permanent disability from Social Security. Oh, wow. Hey, that's socialism I can dig. I'm cool with that. Let's do that. But everything else, we got to cut. I know somebody else. People in the family are on Medicaid. Hardcore Republican. Hey, why would we cut that popular program? No, it's popular because you're using it. Had a friend a couple years ago named Carl. He was a very staunch Republican, but of course he flipped the lid when they started charging more money to go to visit federal parks because he was a big hiker. He was an outdoorsman. He said, man, I can't understand it. I pay all these taxes. Why do I got to pay to go to the national parks? Hey, I guess you got to pay for what you use, right? Kumbaya. Now listen to where this story goes. Now you don't see this in many of the media accounts, right? In 2023, oh man, this is so rich you could just cut it. Hold on. You could cut it with some scissors. The special effects are part of the whole show here, you know? Not just a pretty face. I bring in the stuff, right? In 2023, former President Joe Biden, how much are we missing that guy now? Granted an Arkansas disaster declaration request following deadly tornadoes within 48 hours. FEMA was on the ground in Arkansas within 72. Sanders has obviously appealed the denial, writing in her letter to Trump, the state and the citizens are in dire need of assistance to recover, rebuild, and move on. Without the support of a major disaster declaration, Arkansas will face significant challenges, this is Sarah again, in assuming full responsibility and achieving an effective recovery from this event. Good luck. Good luck. And I'm going to say this, and I don't mean this to be condescending, but if you want to take it as condescending, so be it. I have been to Arkansas. I've been lucky. I've been to probably 45, 44 states in this beautiful country of ours. Arkansas and Mississippi are literally the two poorest states I've ever seen. And I mean poor. I've been through the Appalachians and into Kentucky, Jackson County, been through the hills of Tennessee. There's some poor places. There is no state that is as poor as Arkansas. And it's funny because they have one of the richest depths of natural minerals and resources. There's a lot of companies in the Fortune 500, actually the Fortune 50, really, top 50, that are out of Arkansas. Tyson Chicken, Walmart come to mind. There's a lot, especially in natural gas, oil, those kind of things. I believe Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, harkens from Arkansas. That's where he made his fortune. You know, there's a lot of rich people, but there is an amazing amount of poverty. And those are the people, when these disasters come, get affected the most. And look, my heart bleeds for the west side of Los Angeles, okay? But that's one of the richest areas in America, okay? Those people are going to find their way out. I'm not saying they don't need help. They do. But man, oh man, the poor really need it, and Arkansas really does need it. Arkansas and I couldn't be farther apart, right? I'm liberal. They're arch conservative. Okay, that's cool. But at the end of the day, they're still Americans. They're Americans who breathe and sweat. And the poor in this country deserve, because of their citizenship, because they are Americans, and because, most of all, they're goddamn humans. They got a soul. They have a right to an existence. And our government has an obligation to help the people who are here. I don't care. I had this argument with somebody the other day about due process. And she said, well, due process only comes for American citizens. That's bullshit. Straight bullshit. The Fifth Amendment of the Constitution says any person here has the right to due process, is entitled to due process. Not American citizens who voted for Trump. No. Everybody. Abrego Garcia is at the head of that list. And that guy is still down there in a San Salvador prison. Yeah. Right? So, Arkansas is getting the first tip of the blade. They thought they voted for Trump. He would take care of them. He betrayed them like he betrays everybody. Eventually, it's coming to you, whoever you are. He will find a way to gut you. He will find a way to be the Judas. I might as well just start calling this guy Judas. He's not Judas to me because I already saw him coming. I already knew he was going to betray us. But the people inside the circle didn't see it. They thought they were going to be exempt because they voted the lever. Oh, I voted for him. Yeah, I'm cool. Yeah, good luck. F around and find out, right? This coming from the FEMA director under the Biden administration, Deanna Crisell. She said it is FEMA's mission isn't to replace first responders. Instead, it is to support state and local jurisdictions with their needs. Of course, Deanna, this is when we had a president who actually cared about the citizens and not about putting money in his pocket through crypto or some other elaborate corruption scam. You know, maybe we can get the top floor of the Trump Hotel filled or Mar-a-Lago, or, you know, maybe we're going to care about the people whose lives have been thrown apart, who've been destroyed in these horrible hurricanes in these 3 states. She also continued, she says they're the ones that are on the ground, they're the ones that are responding, and we want to be able to bring them with the resources as quickly as possible so the people can heal. Yeah. You know what? You want to see what the difference in the administrations are right there. That lady eloquently said it. Bring them the resources as quickly as possible so they can heal. And what's Trump doing? Sorry, this is where we're going to cut off. You know, he is cutting the government, but people still have the expectation of being taken care of by the government. And you know what? They have that right, and they should have that right. We are the richest goddamn country in the world. We have the money. We don't need, you know, it's like I've had this disagreement with some of my conservative friends. You know, all we have to do is give up 2 B-2 stealth bombers and we could have health insurance for everybody in America. Hey, let me think. I wish I could take a poll on, would you rather have 252 B-2 bombers or 250 and everybody gets health insurance? 252 or 250? And we all get universal health coverage. Gee, I wish I could bet on how that poll was going to come out. Jesus Christ. I mean, really, at some point. Yeah, I understand about living within your means, but boy, it just, you know, like Elon, you know, when he was trying to be this badass hair transplant human being, right? Said, hey, I'm taking a chainsaw to it. Yeah, okay. Just like the liberals are taking a chainsaw to your damn company. Yeah, good luck with that, buddy. Good luck with that. Go ahead and try and save it. Just like the Titanic. Too late, buddy. Too late. All right, let's keep going down this cruel path, okay? Of course, the 100th episode, tribute. I'm dedicating this to super producer Stacy. I wanted to bring it a little more upbeat and happy. Sorry, Stacy. Seems like we got a lot of bad stories here. Don't take it personally, but here we go. So, Abrego Garcia gets deported, jailed, without a hearing, without any due process, to San Salvador. And at the end of the day, people get deported every day. And we can sit here and disagree on philosophies, on who should be here or not. But for the most part, and we've went through this, but I'm going to continue to go through it. Here's how it goes. The current administration, which whoever it is, Biden or Trump, gets to appoint magistrate immigration judges. And what they do is when people are questioned, are going to quote unquote be deported, they are brought before the judge. And the judge looks at the evidence and says, okay, you can deport them or you can't. Now, the government is appointing these people. The current administration is, right? But most of them probably get deported. I don't know the numbers. They are very, very untransparent about what that is. But at the end of the day, they deserve a right. And then, like I was talking to my great Republican friend, she said, well, you know, if we're going to deport them, that just takes too much time. And I said, so now you're telling me democracy, we can't do that. It takes too much time to actually have a constitution, to have freedom. It takes too much time, so we need to cut it out. Don't get nothing there, right? Maybe they can find a TikTok video, right? So he's deported. Not just deported, he's put in jail without any criminal charges, right? So yesterday, in an interview with the Washington Post, his wife, Jennifer Sarah, says she is fearing for her safety and the safety of her 3 kids because the Department of Homeland Security, run by Kristi Noem, and honey, I hope you were going to use that $3,000 to get your full eyebrows after the plastic surgery. Just saying. After the Department of Homeland Security shared her address with the department's 2.4 million followers on X. Okay. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. I don't feel safe when the government posts my address, the house where my family lives, for everyone to see, especially when this case has gone viral. No kidding. Especially when you've been accused, without any evidence, of your husband being a part of MS-13. Oh, he had dollar bills on his hoodie. Oh, yeah, that means he's MS-13 because they like money too. Yeah, so does everybody in the Trump administration. How you doing? Right? So this is definitely a bit terrifying. I'm very scared for my kids, she told the Washington Post. I don't blame her. Her life is going to be upside down. And wait for this. This is really where we go down the rabbit hole. And you sit here and think, honestly, in a public setting, I cannot believe how cruel they are. But listen to what the statement from DHS was to the Independent of Britain. These are public documents that anyone can get access to, and we have the right to publish them. Okay. Wow. Like, that really happened. You know, hey, where the Supreme Court justices live, that should be public information, right? They're on the government payroll, right? Tell us. I know where the president lives, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Actually, he really resides in hell. That's really where he lives. You know? As far as I'm concerned, he could stay there. I know where he's going after this life. Huh. All right, let's talk about our final story of the day. Trump boasted that he would solve the Ukrainian-Russian conflict within 24 hours of being inaugurated. Seems like it took a little longer, buddy. Now we're at a stalemate. Marco Rubio, State Department Secretary, has basically walked away from the negotiations. He was supposed to meet in London with negotiating parties. Said he's too busy. Logistical errors, logistical issues. He can't attend. This is the big middle finger from the Trump administration because Ukraine is not bending the knee. And the biggest thing that is going on is Russia was the aggressor here. They attacked him in 2021. And in these negotiations, part of what they want is to keep the land that they currently occupy. Okay, I'm not down with it, but if that gets us to peace, so be it. But the bigger little nugget that came out from Putin and his band of little warriors was, we want you, Ukraine, to officially recognize Crimea. Now, for all of you new to the bingo card, Crimea was part of Ukraine. And in 2014, Russia invaded them and took them and still occupies them. Ukraine still believes that Crimea is theirs. It would be like somebody invading the United States, taking Alaska, and then re-invading the United States and taking Montana, Colorado, and New Mexico while they're still fighting us and saying, oh, by the way, you know, part of our peace negotiations is you got to admit that Alaska's ours. All right. One day it's coming. One day it's coming. There's going to be somebody who breaks through with AI and makes something so revolutionary that we are not safe anymore. That day is coming. I don't know when. I'm going to be long in the ground. I'm going to be long. You know, you're just going to have these great, you know, podcasts to look back on and think finally, like, whoa, what happened to James Bond? Oh, he died. But he had a great shirt on his 100th episode. These people in Ukraine have been invaded. They have been violated. They were in 14. And I love Obama. But I wish he would have responded the same way Joe Biden did and give support to Ukraine to repel the invaders out of Crimea. Okay? They didn't. It's easy for me here in this chair, this life of opulence, to tell them what to do. It's hard when you're commander in chief to send soldiers into a war. And that is the thing I applaud mostly about Joe Biden is we didn't lose one soldier in Ukraine. We just sent money. It was just money. And we have destroyed the Russian military. Okay. They may be bigger than Ukraine, but man, they're on their last legs. All right. So be it, right? White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt said Tuesday night the negotiations hopefully are moving in the right direction. Yeah. Zelensky is not going to accept a deal where he has to officially give up Crimea. He says it's in their constitution. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. If I was him, I wouldn't. F it, let's go. I will tell you one thing about the Russian people. They don't give up easy. They don't. You know, Moscow has previously stalled on previous ceasefires. They're still attacking hospitals. They're still attacking schools. You know, just doing whatever they can do. They are talking, which is a good thing. Let's be honest. Trump is trying to put them on an accelerated schedule because he wants to get a Nobel Peace Prize like his idol, Barack Obama. And now he's finding out how tough it really is. Okay? You got two bulldogs in there fighting. They're fighting. Nobody wants to give up. And one, it's funny. I don't know if you ever watch the wildlife specials, but you see the cheetah going after the gazelle. And that gazelle is going, right? And that cheetah is going. But somehow the gazelle just gets away a little quicker. Just enough to get away. And you go, wow, it went fast. Well, it was running for its life. There's a difference when you're running for your life versus running for a meal. It's a big thing. Big thing. You know? Oh, Jesus. All right, that's it for today. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. You are the best. And once again, kudos to my super producer, Stacy. Thank you for all your help. Thank you for all your tutelage, and hopefully we can get to another 100, maybe 1,000. I'm telling you, in 2 years, we're going to be the biggest podcast on the web because we're telling you stuff you're not hearing anywhere else. F them all. Let's burn it all to the ground. All right. You take care, and I'll see you soon.